Peace, peace-free creatures, peace everyone. Happy Sunday. Ooh, those rains were needed because it is so hot now. Whew. Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about weapons of truth. Weapons of truth. We hear about weapons of destruction, mass weapons of destructions. You know, people say things like words can be used as weapons. And so I just want to talk about weapons of truth, okay? And maybe it has to do, well, everything has to do with spiritual law and principles, but I don't know, it just kind of came to me, you guys. So while there are so many tactics and there are so many systems and there are so many agendas being perpetuated proverbially and systematically, we also have to discuss, implement, and live by different things that will counter all of the hate in the world, that will counter all of the destruction and the chaos. So let's identify weapons of truth, positive things, ways of being that we can implement into our lives so that we can live optimally. Yes, optimally. So things like integrity, self-care, words of affirmations, being your brother and sister's keeper. These things are important. And so I was doing some writing the other day, and I was doing some affirmations. Sometimes when I'm writing, it could consist of poetry, it could be a free verse, it could be quotes, my favorite lyrics, my thoughts and emotions. But this particular time, I was writing affirmations and reprogramming and consistently and diligently reprogramming my own self-thoughts and my own self-talk. So I was writing things like, I am dot dot dot. I am a creative woman. I am a beautiful woman. I am a joyful woman. I am an artist. You know, I love life. I laugh. I am full of integrity. Things like that. And it was just wonderful because there are different times, and I'm going to reiterate this constantly, there are different times in everybody's life, definitely my own, where you feel unsure, you feel less than, you're struggling with identity crises and a myriad of different problems. However, we have to become solution based, and we have to, as well as identify the problem, start to work towards our solutions. And there are so many things that it seems like is that we are up against. You know, I don't know where people are on their spiritual walk and their spiritual journey, but I know that I can't be the only person who has dealt with things in the home and relating to others on the jobs and in the world. You know, let's not act like we're blind. You know, you see the news, you see these world events. It seems like people are losing their minds. And it seems like we do not have a compass. We don't have any direction or any navigation. So It's never too late. While to others this may seem premature or whatever, but the time is now, and it's always now to inspire. Now's the time to inspire. Now's the time to create ripples in time. Now is the time to create ripples in this vast ocean of life, okay? And not just continue to poison our waters. I hope that makes sense. Not to poison our bodies anymore, poison our minds, poison our speech. It's time out for poisoning the music. And so, weapons of truth, weapons of positivity has, just kind of started. I've been meditating on that notion and that kind of philosophy. So, like, how can we combat the things in the earth? The things that are not good, the things that these psychological strongholds, spiritual strongholds, how can we combat these things? And there are a lot of different people and a lot of different communities who are doing their very best to implement great things, to show the youth new ways, not just confusing ways, because let's be honest, life itself is a journey that we are constantly learning on, and it can be so overwhelming. It can be so confusing. Sometimes we don't know which way to turn. And I'm 30, and I'm going on 31, and I can only imagine what the youth and how they're feeling and what they're observing in life and what they're observing in the world around them. And so, as I meditate on ways to better myself, I just encourage you to also meditate and implement better structures, belief systems, morals into your own life so you can continue to be an inspiration. Inspire means to breathe life into, okay? And so, in a world where there's a bunch of chaos and confusion, strife, wickedness, death, decay, pollution, everything from A to Z that is not really ideal in the perfect world and the perfect setting, we have to inspire. We have to breathe life into ourselves and to others. Yes, I believe and I trust in my higher power, a creator, source. Some say God, spirit, however that applies to you. Take it or leave it. But we must be a reflection of source. We must be a reflection of our highest version of self and inspire others. When things seem hopeless, we must breathe life into the lifeless. We must breathe over the dry bones in the valley. So let's use weapons of truth in our day-to-day life. And standing on truth takes a lot of courage. Standing on truth is not easy. People are going to look at you like you're crazy. People are not going to agree with you. However, it is time that more people walk into their authenticity. I think that's the only way that we are going to bring life, color, and love back into our families, back into our tribe, back into our communities, and back into this land. Okay? Back into this land. There are a lot of different places and around the world that we can go and that we can help and project love and greatness all over the world. But first, it must start at home. And maybe I'm off on a little bit of a tangent, but yes, weapons of truth. You know, I am just one person, I'm just one woman, and maybe I can, but who knows? I can't just go and shake up the foundation of the system that, quote unquote, the United States was built upon. I'm just one person. I cannot go into these churches and shake up the foundation of a system in place on which it was built, that religion was built. I cannot go one person and shake up these prisons, these penitentiary strongholds that has affected a lot of our families. And I, as one person, can't just go into the health field and save all of my brothers and sisters who are suffering at the hands of malpractice. So there's a lot of things that we wish we could change, but maybe we just can't. Maybe not in one lifetime, maybe not by ourselves. But I can encourage people with weapons of truth, okay? So whether that be your own personal life or things that you see out into the world, I just encourage people to spend time with self, spend time in nature, spend time with the divine, learn thyself, know thyself, and be the best version of yourself that you can be every day. Do your best to conquer and face your fears, demons, your shadow, your subconscious mind, and just become more self-aware so that we can start seeing a wave, a tidal wave of goodness, a tidal wave of love, a tidal wave of rejuvenation and jubilee. I am overwhelmed and amazed by the level of spiritual ignorance that I myself have experienced, and even my peers and relatives. And there is a lot that we have to learn. There is a lot of wisdom out there. But it first starts with knowledge. And knowledge is receiving that information and bridging the gaps. But wisdom happens when you start to apply said knowledge, when you start to walk in the way of that knowledge, when you can apply it to self and then also teach others. Even, just feeding people with food, good foods, and also feeding people with words of affirmations, compliments, feeding people good music, music with lyrics that doesn't tear down an entire generation of women, music that doesn't tear down a category of people or a culture of people. So I just want us all to meditate on what we think, what we believe that could combat these things that are in place in our lives that we don't want to see anymore. And one of these weapons is joy. So finding the joys in life and really basking in that. For me, it's these walks, it's the talks, it's creating. Oh, I just spotted the horses. Oh. So, when you're operating and when you're fighting spiritually to overcome um, mental strongholds and spiritual strongholds of maybe the evil delusions in our minds or in our everyday life, um, choosing happiness and experiencing joy. Love and fear can't coexist in the same space. It emanates at two different frequencies. So that's one good weapon. Hi, how are you doing today? You are beautiful. Hi, boy. Whew. I don't know if you guys can see this beautiful. Hi. Hey. You ran from me a second ago. Hi. Hello. How are you today? You're a big guy. I missed you too. I missed you too. Yeah. I wish they'd take the mask off. I know. I know. Hi. Hi. Hi, handsome boy. Yeah. Something to meditate on today, guys. Whew. I'm gonna pet these horses and just remember to love on yourself today and do something that brings you great joy. Something that lifts your spirits, and so we can create this chain effect, this ripple effect into a wave of life. Peace.